Hey, what's up? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about the recession worries. You're probably worried about, is the country going to make it, depending on what age you are. Some people have been through this stuff, some people haven't. So I want to kind of alleviate those fears. I want to give you some ideas. I want to give you some strategies that I've used to get past worries about the economy, worries about credit, worries about having too much debt. I'm going to just kind of alleviate those fears. And really, this is one of those videos that's for one person. It's like a one-on-one conversation. I don't really make these videos to try to blow up and have it all over the place. It's mainly to reach people who are, very, that could be very scared about our situation. So you can see I'm scrolling. I put that imagery in there. I'm scrolling. I'm talking, showing you that this is nothing new. This is things that we went through in our country. And I went back and did a little research. We got the Roosevelt recession, which was 1937 and 1938. And then we had a post-World War II recession, 1945 to February 1945 to October 1945. That was about the time frame. Then there was a little bit of post-World War II slump, 1948, 1949. There's something that's very much in common. I'll mention that in a minute. We got the post-Korean War recession, 1953 to 1954. You average about a year with all recessions. And then we have a 1957, 1958. Then we have a 1960, 61, and that was April 60 to February of 1961. Then we have a 69 to 70. And then we have a 1973 to 1975, which was the oil embargo, which actually, if you don't remember what had happened then, it really peaked out in the close to 1980s. And I remember this. I was, I think 1980, I was probably 10 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old. You could only go and get gas by your license plate. It was odd number and even numbers. So imagine, it's not even close to anything like that now. But imagine if you were driving to go get gas and you could not get gas on that day because your license plate was an even number. A lot of people don't even know about that history, but that was something that had actually happened in the late 70s. Then you have the energy crisis, 1981, 82, Gulf War recession, 1990, 91, and then the dot-com 2001 dot-com recession. And then we had obviously the complete total meltdown of 2008. And now with the delayed reaction, it should have been somewhere around 2019 to 2022. The reason why it didn't happen was because COVID pulled in, which we had a mini downsize, and there was money put into the market to prop everything up. And then now everything is being contracted back in. So no matter who was president, someone put a comment saying if Trump was president, this wouldn't have happened. It was going to happen with anyone because of the way that the contraction of the market. Also, some other things that are happening that people are just, I don't know if people are aware of this. And sometimes you'll notice by the circles of people that you run in. I know several multimillionaires, and one of the things that people that have stock portfolios and owners of these tech companies and other companies, they have debt. They have debt and they get scared just like you. That's why they say people, no matter how much money a person has, they're going to put their pants on or their dress on the same way as anyone else. And they get scared, they get fearful. They don't want to end up losing money, or they don't want to go backwards, so they'll cash out. And that's what makes the stock market go down. If no one sold their stock and didn't need their money, the market would not go down. It only goes down because people are cashing out. They need their money, brings the values down. point blank. That's just the way it works. So you see the same thing happening with Bitcoin and all of the different cryptocurrencies too. So now let's get into some solutions on what I think you need to do so you don't get so uptight and worried about this recession that's about to happen. And I believe that it's about to happen and it's going to last about a good year if we're not all the way in it, and then it's just going to, pull its way out by maybe summer of next year. And we know that time does fly, because I remember when when COVID hit and they shut everything down, I thought it would never end. We're already 2 years outside of that, getting ready to go on 3. So this is what you should do. And I made my notes here, and you should write notes. You should get a piece of paper and write this down, because this is going to help you. You need to put this in your back pocket. First thing is you need to ask yourself, what are you afraid of? Like, because things run through people's mind. They're afraid of just all types of things. Like, people are afraid of things that might happen, and it hasn't even happened, and they're afraid. This is the way that we are as humans. Like, sometimes it depends on your personality, but it could be where you are always thinking something bad is going to happen, or you're on the positive side that you think that it's only good things will happen. Oops, had a little call there. You are more leaning towards good things happening, but no matter what side you're on, we're always afraid of something. So you need to put that down on a piece of paper, and you need to let that come out of your that wheel of thinking of something that's bad. And also, fear is what you're afraid of. That's false evidence appearing real. Things that have not even happened. And but the way that I've overcame it is just to put it down on paper, look at it and say, is that really logical? Should I have those fears? Is that something logically to be thinking about? Or is it just my mind just playing tricks? And most of the times you'll see that it's just your mind that's just playing tricks on you. The next thing is you need to write down, what are your struggles? Like, what are you actually struggling with? And the reason why I say that, these are like tangible things. Like, are you struggling with debt? Are you struggling with living paycheck to paycheck? Are you struggling like I was in the 90s, where you're not living paycheck to paycheck? You're living from money to spending more than what you make. So that's worse than paycheck to paycheck. So, like, write down those struggles. Are you struggling with things personally? Are you struggling with people that you're, associated with? Write that stuff down. So, because what you're going to do is you're going to start evaluating and seeing what you need to do to fix those struggles. You can't fix anything if you don't consciously put it down and have a good look at it and say, okay, this is the way that I need to deal with this. This is the way I need to deal with that. And you might be saying, well, how do I know if I'm dealing with it the right way? Well, if you have it down, the first group of things that you're struggling with, and then you write down, this is how I'm going to deal with it, and that doesn't work, then that means that you need to do it a different way. What most people do is they'll have it all in their mind and they'll come with solutions, but when they if they were to look at what those solutions were, they're just doing the same thing over and over again. People, some of the times we think that we're doing something different to solve a problem, when we're actually just really doing it the same way, just putting a little variation on there. Not to say that variations won't work, but it's just like little variations that really is like you're just beating yourself over the head with doing the same thing over and over again. So you need to write down what you're struggling with: your credit, your debt, your income, anything personal, anything personal with people that you're dealing with, anything. Write it down on paper so you can get it out of your mind. It's going to probably also make you, it will make you feel better. When you put that type of stuff on paper, you will feel better. So all you have to do is just put that stuff on paper, and then you write down, this is what I'm going to do for that. This is what I'm going to do for that. This is what I'm going to do for that. And then after you start to implement and put things into action, you can go back and say, did that solve that problem? Did that solve that problem? And now think about the benefits. There's like the benefit of solving the problem, but also the benefit of putting it on paper. When you put it on paper, it's like in a sense you're taking the worries out of your mind, and you're putting those worries and struggles out of your mind, putting it on paper, and you're saying, okay, this is the solution. And then you don't have to worry. Like I said, don't be afraid if the solution won't work. Get that out of your mind. Don't worry about things going wrong before they even go wrong. So don't worry about that. So put it down on paper, and then for the purposes of this video here, or for the channel, is we always kind of focus and turn that around over into credit and financial struggles. Put it down on paper. Get those credit reports. Look at what you're dealing with. What's hurting me financially? What's hurting me with my credit? And put together a plan to actually get that stuff accomplished. When I think about this, let's talk about real world things. What happened with me? Real experiences. In 1994, my wife and I, we had to come to a decision where we were like, we cannot continue living this way. Number one, we're gonna destroy our business. Number two, we're gonna end up divorced, because the number one cause of divorce is financial problems. It's like you start to do other things because the money isn't right. You fight with each other. You don't get along with each other. You don't treat each other right. And parties end up going outside of their relationships. So we had built the business, started it in 1990, got to making very good money, but we found ourselves in more debt, vehicles that we didn't even need, and just all of this stuff. And we made a decision, Christmas of 1994, we made a decision to work our way out of it. And we had just put it on paper, and we started coming up with solutions. The solutions that we came up with is exactly what I use for my clients with the credit repair shop, is validating debts, if it's debts that have been sold by debt collectors, settling debts that are proven, reaching out to original creditors, reaching out to debt collectors who have validated, because you want to be able to move forward. When we sat down, made that decision on paper, Christmas 1994, and put it into action, yes, it took us all the way to 1999 to get out of that debt. We were over 300,000 in debt. I'm pretty sure none of you are at that level. But what really was the huge benefit of what happened a lot quicker than I expected was that within a few months, we started seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. We were like, if we just continue doing these things here, we're going to be okay. We no more arguing over money, because the decisions were made. We're not going to spend money on things that we couldn't afford. We're not going to use credit. We're going to get rid of the credit cards, all of that stuff. Not saying that you need to get rid of the credit cards now, but what I'm saying is that for us at that time, we said that we were not going to use credit cards. Obviously, now we use credit cards because you need credit cards even to rent a car if you're going on a trip or whatever. And when you have discipline, there's ways that you can use credit cards to actually get a lot of cash back and free things. So, but that's another video that we can talk about that. So, get it down on paper. Watch this video again. Like these little subtle videos that I make right here, these are like golden nuggets. Like these are the types of videos that you don't see other channels make, and it's from my real life experience. It's not like I'm some reporter or some that's just saying like follow this, and and never had the problem. I've felt how it feels to have debt collectors come after you. I've felt how it feels to have a car repossessed. I've felt how it feels to argue with my spouse over money and not being able to pay bills and not feeling like I'm providing the right way as a man of the house. Like I've felt that. So when I give you these solutions, these are solutions that's gonna, number one, work on your financial and your credit struggles, but it's going to be more than that. It's going to actually give you confidence. It's going to help you become the man or the woman that you want to become, so you can, lead your family, so you can leave them something if something was to happen to you, or, when you're older, so you can be able to take care of yourself and not depend on other people. Like this is what this is all about. So if you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. repairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, so you can see my 8-point validation process and my 2-phase settlement process. If you if you need your credit reports and scores, please go to the website your3scores.com. Get your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian reports and all 3 scores, and you can get all the data that you would need to repair your credit, because you're going to see all of the information that furnishers have placed on your credit reports, and you'll have the furnisher addresses so you can deal back and forth with them. If you have debt collectors coming after you, please grab my 3-pack of letters: cease and desist collection activities letter, statute of limitations letter, and debt validation letter. I do ask for a donation. Those letters are well worth it. It could save you literally thousands, if hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, and the stress of having debt collectors take advantage of you. Thank you for your time. Please subscribe to the channel. Post your questions and comments. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and Founder, CreditRepairShop.com.